season. Folks, it seems like we've been stuck in this kind of nothing going on, but we are under a month away from Golden Eagle men's basketball starting. Dan, it seems like it's been forever since our last game in Winona. I know we don't want to bring that one up, but it must feel good for you to be back with a lot of new guys and five returners. But it's got to feel good for you to be back in the gym, working towards our season opener.
That's why we want to get started so quick. We got a little bitter taste in our mouth from that last game, and but it's been a challenge for everybody this fall. Our guys have done a really good job getting to where they've gotten to. I think our trainers have done a good job of getting our guys where they need to be. Wasn't perfect, but it feels darn good to be on the floor playing, and I think that's really helped our guys' mentality. And just to do what they want to do, I think will better everything about their experience.
Dan, you talk about that bad taste in your mouth. That was a bad taste for almost everyone, because we went into the season really high expectations, earned some votes in the Central region, but just kind of talk about the transition from last year to this season. A lot of new guys, a lot of Golden Eagle fans are going to need to get to know a lot of these new guys, but just kind of talk about the difference from last year into this season.
Well, I thought we started last year. It was real promising, the start we had last year. We've upped our scheduling a little bit, and I think that's benefited. I did think we hit a little bit of lull. I don't know, maybe before, just after the winter break, and because it's a long season. And, I do think we have a little more depth this year to man that. It'll be a next man up mentality. Obviously, we lose an elite type player. And, it's pretty cool to say we actually have two players playing overseas in Spain right now. And that's fantastic. And hopefully more to come. But, we got to replace an elite player. But I think we can do that by a team first mentality. I think we got multiple guys that can score the ball. Again, maybe not as at the clip that Harrison was able to do, but I think we might have a few more guys that might be able to just put the ball in the hole.
It's going to be tough to replace that scoring, Dan, but like you mentioned, obviously Harrison Clear, the NSIC's all-time leading scorer, has moved on due to graduation, but I know you're really excited about your guard depth, talking before, but just kind of talk about those guys. You got Tyrese Shines, who had a promising freshman year last year, and some freshmen as well, and some newcomers coming into the program as well. So just kind of talk about that guard depth that you have this year.
Yeah, and Tyrese coming off of back surgery, so he will hopefully get cleared here any day, today or Monday. But he's a big one to have back. A year older, was a freshman last year older, year experience. Brian Sisman, redshirt junior now. And by design, last year we had a guy, we wanted the ball in his hands and Harrison's hands quite often. And now is a chance for more guys to be able to step up, and we'll put the ball in different guys' hands, and we'll share the ball, and you just got to make those open shots. But we got 12 newcomers. We got the 5 returners. They're doing a really, really good job as a whole collectively. There's going to be a lot of competition. I love the fact we have some depth. If we have, there might be maybe not a guy playing 35 minutes, but we could have a ton of guys playing 20 minutes, and hopefully we can have a few different guys in double-digit scoring.
Dan, that depth is going to be evident, because there was a time last year we only had 8 guys suited up. Right. So I know that was a real focus for you in the recruiting process to get that depth. Do you feel like you've kind of attacked that well this offseason?
Yeah, we went a little bit more transfer. Our freshmen are doing a very good job. Josh Dilling's done a very nice job at the guard, another guard, but done a really good job. Our 2 Portland guys done a fantastic job. I think we got a little more athleticism. I know one of the things that as a coach, of course, our players are really buying in, but we gave up too many points last year. If we can be better on the defensive end, using that depth, that's going to go a long way for us, because we couldn't outscore some teams last year, and that was the wrong mentality to have. If we can get stops, we can stay in games.
Watching Josh Dilling, Dan, he's got an interesting story. Obviously, he was from your hometown of Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and Tyrese Halliburton, NBA lottery pick this past year, was his, the point guard, was his predecessor. Josh was. So Josh has looked really good in the practices that I've seen, and I know you're really, really excited about Josh. So kind of talk about the lefty from Wisconsin a little bit.
Well, I've known about him for a long, long time. Again, it's a half joke, but he went to the other high school. I went to Oshkosh West. He went to Oshkosh North, and I told him he broke my spell of not recruiting North players. And that's it's a fun little rivalry, but I'll give them crap when West beats North this year. You know? Good program. He comes from a great program, state championship team. You mentioned Tyrese Halliburton, elite player.
Yep.
And Josh has the mindset of a champion type guy. He does everything the right way. His mindset, he's got positivity about him. He really sets the tone and drills. And again, he's only a freshman. It's not like I need him to set tones, but it's just contagious. His attitude's contagious, and he's been great to have.
Dan, the transfer you touched on a little bit, but we went heavy on the transfers this year with George Darwich and Leonard Dixon, Ethan Chanel. So was that kind of your thought process heading in? We had to replace a lot of guys from last year. So what was kind of your process? Did you want a lot of that experience coming into the program to kind of not restart, but keep building on the momentum that we've had?
Yeah, when we started this program, when it's 6-7 years ago now, when we first started it, the blueprint was to get 4-year guys and build them up. Well, that's all good. We've certainly seen that that's benefited us. Now, with that said, you graduate a bunch of guys. We don't want to start over. Right. So we brought in a good number of transfer guys, well coached, good programs, guys that are hungry. Of course, the COVID thing with the recruiting, it was very different this year. I think I blew up my phone a couple times and had to charge it up a couple times. But overall, it went really well. You get to know these guys quite well, maybe not face to face, but you talk to them every other day or every day during the recruiting process, which was back starting in April. Leonard Dixon was the only one that actually got to visit campus before we shut the country down. He came and he liked it. He was able to tell Ethan that. Ethan wasn't quite able to get over here. He signed on. George Darwich and JJ, the 2 Romanians, I believe, are the only D2 team in the country that has 2 Romanians, and they're doing a very good job. Kind of a fun little fact.
Yeah,
it didn't happen to be that way. Just kind of happened. But they're doing a great job. Morgan Carter, kid from Wales, is a kid that we recruited 2 years ago, and didn't work out then, but he came back around to us second time around. He was also transferred. And Hunter Lyman, want to give him a shout out because he signed early. He was the one guy that signed early. And got a couple kids from the Twin Cities, Jalen James and Chandler Reek, and they're doing a really good job. Rafa Carton was one of the first ones from Spain to sign. So we did a heck of a lot of work, and we finally get to put that work out on the floor. It's taken a long time. These guys, have fought through some adversity with the quarantine stuff and isolation, but they get to play on the floor, and I can tell that what a difference that makes for these guys.
The international flavor, Dan, is going to be on hand this year because you talked about Gigi and George, the Romanian guys, made two of the Romanians, and then Silas Zia from China. So the internet, and you talked about Rafa as well, joining already Ibu. So the international flavor is going to be key this year. But how have those guys kind of adjusted coming from international waters over to Crookston so far in your eyes?
Well, most of them were actually over here for a period of time, or for a couple of years from a junior college standpoint, or they were at another. George is from a Division I college, so they've been there, done that. And again, that's one of the nice things of having a transfer guy is also you throw in the international thing is they typically might be a year older, just how the rating system works over there. Right. So I mean, there's definitely a process that goes to it, and it's not necessarily there's some work to it there. But our compliance person's done a good job of helping us navigate through that. And these guys, thankfully, they're pretty smart guys, so that makes things much easier for us. But they've adjusted really well. I mean, if you came to our practice or just came to watch whatever, and we can't have any gatherings now, unfortunately, right? But that's
unfortunately, yeah.
But if we had one, I'd feel like you'd be like, these guys are just their first year together because they are so well. They talk to each other, they get along, they will challenge each other and get after it in practice, which we like. But they'll also give each other, that's all right, let's go, let's get the next one kind of thing. So it's been a really fun group so far. We have not had a competition or done any of that, but we have competed in practice, and that's been a healthy competition.
Dan, talk about George Darwich a little bit. A transfer from a D1 college, actually the second in the past 3 years because we had Josh Collins come from University of North Dakota. So that's kind of helped us out. That's kind of been a big factor for you and the coaching staff. And if George can make an impact like Josh does, I think we're going to be okay. But you kind of expect George to kind of make a step into that starting point guard role that Harrison leaves, and maybe not score the 27 or 28 points that Harrison leaves, but to maybe make an impact in other ways as well.
You say his name the Romanian way. I say it the U.S. way. So that's okay.
We'll need to learn that. Yeah, we'll need to learn.
You got some pronunciations you got to get.
We do.
Over
yeah.
the PA system.
I suppose I should get on that. I'm kind of the main guy, but that's okay.
Yeah. It's we'll talk to these guys, but he's done it. I tell you what, his leadership's been very, very good. I get on him because he's too unselfish. He's, I don't want to say he's a pass first guy, but he's certainly looking to pass, and I don't want him to turn down shots. Now, with that, there's a lot of guard depth. We don't have anything situated now. Has he done a very good job? He's done a pretty good job, yes.
Yeah.
And his experience at that level, he doesn't come just from a Division I program. He comes from a program that won their league last year, and has his roommate could be drafted in the NBA next year. I mean, he's been around and been there, done that, played pretty high level. But his leadership has been fantastic, and he's very unselfish. I think the guys have taken to him, and we're happy to have him. So we're going to ask him. We're going to ask him to continue with that leadership. We're going to have guys, but hopefully that rubs off on other guys. And I do think guys, the Ethan Channel and Brian Sitzman and Zach Westfall and some of these returner guys, freshmen like Josh Dilling, who already brings that mindset is gonna help us out.
Dan, last year, a big emphasis and kind of a big question mark was the rebounding. You lost Josh the previous year, Josh Collins. You lost Gable Smith, a big rebounder.
Yeah.
And last year, rebounding was an issue. Offensive rebounding for the other team was hurt us a lot last year. So has that been kind of an emphasis this year to say all 5 guys crash the rebound and then we can push the ball and transition the other way?
Second chance points and giving up offensive rebounds, absolutely. And I tell you what, the basketball gods, when there's an offensive rebounds, I swear 90% of the time at the second chance it's going to go in. But yeah, absolutely. We haven't done a ton because this was our third day. This was our third day of actually being able to do some 5-on-5, and we just getting our defense in, and we're still learning that stuff. But that is absolutely something we want to get to. It wasn't necessarily a lack of trying to get us to be. You just got to have the mindset, and you're right. We got to keep talking, keep harping on it, and you really get somewhere when the guys take over that mindset and correct each other or police each other with that. Hey, you got to box out. Hey, you didn't get a body. Hey, you can't let a guy get an offensive rebound. So that's stuff that they're well aware. We want to be better at it. That's something here in the near future we will. I tell you what, we haven't watched any film, but at some point we will, and that hopefully won't come up as much, but maybe we'll be praising guys to say, hey, way to get a body on that guy.
Right. Dan, I was around the team a ton last year, went to almost every game. It was fun last year, but it seemed like the main theme in every game was, we're going to score our points, but are we going to be able to stop the team when we don't have the ball? So I know in the one practice that I saw when you went live on Tuesday, it was a lot of your defensive drills that you preach and harp on. So do you, Beam, and Crane think that this team might be a little bit better defensively than last year?
Well, we certainly hope so. Number one. How did we look? Because that was our first day, so it was probably.
I thought it was good. I thought the competitiveness was really good. It was,
The competitiveness is very, very good. You're right on that, and that's great to see. But you're right. We need to be better defensively. We certainly are tweaking a couple things on defense. On offense, obviously, we have 12 new guys. This is a perfect time to do it. I do think the mindset is there right now from multiple players at different positions, and that's going to serve us well. But this was the first time we actually were able to get 5-on-5. We've done a lot of, last week we had just getting out of a quarantine. So we had 10 guys that can practice, but only 9 healthy bodies. So we did 4-on-4 and 3-on-3. So you kind of make do, but we were able to build on principles from those drills, put them in the 5-on-5. And, it's not going to go smooth. This is, like I said, day 4, day 3 of 5-on-5, but it's a process and we're building.
Dan, obviously a very different year. We don't need to touch on the year that it's been. It's been a very crappy one, I think, but it's a different year for you as a coaching staff too, because now we'd be 6 games in, 6-7 games in, and we'd be ready for conference play. But when do you guys as a coaching staff start putting a game plan in for Concordia-St. Paul and for the other 15, 14 games after Concordia? Do you kind of wait till after maybe Christmas to do that, or what's your plan for doing that?
It's funny because I remember just on Saturday after Thanksgiving thinking, you're just kind of hanging out or you're playing with your kids, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
you kind of just think, man, we'd be playing at Bemidji right now.
Right.
Or, that we'd be playing a game tomorrow. And
or maybe somewhere nice. Usually Thanksgiving's where you're in Puerto Rico or something.
It's just different. But,
Right.
But to get to your question, we need to focus on ourselves. Take care of your own house first. Concordia got a new coach. They got a lot of the same players back. They'll be a very formidable opponent, of course.
Yeah.
We split with them last year, but we will get to Concordia, but probably not even probably till after we get back from the winter break. And we're hoping we play those games. I know they're hoping we play those games.
Yeah.
If you ask every player in the league, they all want to play the games. I think coaches included.
Yeah.
But we just got to take care of our in-house first, take care of our offense, take care of our defense, and then we'll get to Concordia when the time comes.
So for the fans who don't know, Dan, it's 2 games with the South opponent, Saturday, Sunday, actually, to start off right after the New Year, 2nd and 3rd, and then it's 14 games I believe, with North opponents, and the North has traditionally been a really good basketball program. Last year, we swept MSU Moorhead, had 2 tight games with Duluth. Just kind of talk about the North in your estimation. Obviously, a lot of unknowns this year, but what do you expect from the North half of the NSIC this year?
Well, I see, the Northern State, that's the one, Coach Phillips real well, but they're a top 10 team in Division II, and they'll be definitely a formidable point. It's just, that's the beauty of this league. It's such a great league, and, it's been great to grow the fan base, and I think they get to see that we're competing with teams day in, day out, night in, night out. It will be different. It will be very different when you're playing the same opponent back-to-back nights.
Right.
That would be kind of interesting, so to say. So I've had talked to coaches, and jokingly, maybe they're not joking, but maybe you play man and maybe you play zone the next night just to throw something there. I don't know if I'm built that way, but hey, not a bad idea either.
Right.
But that will be very different. The nice part about it, it's obviously for COVID, so you don't spread, so you're not playing 2 different teams.
Yeah.
But those first 2 games against Concordia, those would be considered non-conference, even though they're a conference opponent. And then it's conference from there on out with the 14 North opponents. But Moorhead's got everyone back. They'll be very good. I think Bemidji State's going to be very good. I think Mary's got a lot of guys back, and Minot's going to be good. So St. Cloud will be good too. So there's my quick summary of the North.
I love the summary, but do you think the 12 new guys, hey, they're coming in, there's like, who's Northern State? We don't know who Northern State is, so it's kind of like that thing where, hey, they could go in guns a-blazing and maybe knock off a top 10 team like Northern State. So that's kind of the mentality, I'm guessing, for these 12 new guys, right?
Well, when we have 12, they don't know who we are at this point. Now, everyone's going to get film at some point, and everyone's going to have scouting reports, and they're going to get it figured out. But, it's been nice. We certainly are going to miss our seniors. It's when you get a guy that's a freshman, or even Tavi was a 3-year guy, and they come through, they graduate. Malcolm Cohen was a 3-year guy. Chase Johnson was a 4-year guy. It's great to see. You'll miss them, but now we have a lot of new blood, and it's fun with these new guys. I think there's a new mindset. It's all about what can I do to make this team better. And it's been a fun group to be around thus far.
Dan, last question for you. When you started 7 years ago, it was kind of the bottom of the NSIC, and obviously getting to now to where we're at. We went to the NSIC quarterfinals in Sanford Pentagon 2 years ago, and you've built this program up really from the bottom. And just talking about the renovations, the bleachers are amazing, and now the new gym. What's that mean to you to kind of be the first team? Unfortunately, volleyball wasn't able to play this year, but now basketball is able to knock on wood, get on that new floor. So how does that feel for you to kind of be that team to open up the new era of Golden Eagle basketball on that brand new, awesome looking court?
The court's beautiful. The bleachers are 2 years old now. How about my new office, by the way?
Yeah.
I still got to put some signage on the wall here. I don't have anything here, but it's coming. I gotta I mean, I got it. You just don't want me to put anything on a wall, the wall fall down. So
Right.
I got to get someone to help me with that.
Fortunately, it's not a Packer thing. That's good.
It's not a Packer thing. You're lucky we split, but I'll get some Crookston, a nice Crookston emblem in there.
Yeah.
But we've set ourselves up. You put the work in, and hopefully it pays off. It's paid off. Last year we were picked higher than we've ever been picked. We had the highest expectations 2 years ago.
Yeah.
First NSIC tournament in our school's history,
Yeah.
Men's basketball. I thought we fell a little short last year, but the expectations have not changed on our end. And our goal is to finish better this year than we did last year.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's fans. Now it's Gary Sensky Court at Lee Soccer Gymnasium. So it's a brand new era of Golden Eagle basketball, Dan. And 12 new guys are going to ring it in, and hopefully our 5 newcomers can come in and keep that momentum going. But Dan, do you have any final thoughts to say to our fans as we are 1 month away from Golden Eagle basketball tipping off on their new season?
Well, I tell you what, the fact that we're able to get out there and play and compete against each other, I can see a difference in our guys. They've really done a good job dealing with this situation. There's been bumps in the road, and sometimes it takes you to figure out what this is really all about. We are certainly hopeful and thankful we get to play, and hopefully we keep it up. And everyone stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you January 2nd.
Yeah, let's hope so. Dan, that's a beautiful segue. January 2nd, Concordia-St. Paul. The Golden Eagles and the Golden Bears tip off at 7:30 from the brand new Gary Sensky Court inside Lee Soccer Gymnasium. Dan, thanks so much for joining me. You're the best, man, and keep going with these guys and get them ready for January 2nd.
Look forward to seeing you in person, Hunter.
Yes, sir.